Hello, my name is Joanna, and for my AP Lang final, I chose to analyze the podcast Ear Hustle. Ear Hustle is hosted by Erlon Woods and Nigel Poor, who have interviewed prisoners in the San Quentin State Prison. In the podcast, they discuss the daily struggles of prison life for those in the prison and the actions that eventually led to the point of their lives they currently reside in. In each episode, different prisoners are brought on the show to share their own unique story of why and how they resulted in being in prison. And with every story being unique, it allows the audience to view prisoners as humans with emotions rather than viewing prisoners as dangerous criminals with no sympathy. Now, the purpose of this podcast is not only to share the reality of prison life, but also to acknowledge that these people are like every other human being. The only difference is that one decision taken in their life led to them becoming incarcerated. I noticed that throughout the episodes, they were narrating using colloquial language. This informal language allowed for the stories to feel raw and sentimental. I would say that the majority of the stories constantly shifted in tone. In many episodes, they had an elegiac and mournful tone to them. For example, in the episode Shoe, many prisoners are interviewed about their experiences in the Shoe, also known as the security housing unit. These prisoners share how their long-term stay in the unit has left them with trauma and difficulties in adapting to their surroundings outside of the Shoe after being in solidarity for many years. Although in other episodes, such as Left Behind, prisoners such as Curtis share their personal experiences in the prison and how prisoners usually lose themselves in prison, but you must maintain your integrity, end quote. Curtis maintains his optimism throughout the story, which demonstrates how each prisoner views their time locked up either as a place of mourning and regret or as a place to improve not only for yourself, but for those around you. I would say it's really difficult to discern any logical fallacies in the podcast because the podcasts mainly just rely on the trust of the prisoners and hopefully that they don't throw any lies here and there. Maybe there was potential exaggeration of stories to make the story sound more entertaining. They don't really go in depth of verifying the truth of each story. Personally, when listening to this podcast, it made me change the way I see inmates. It made me acknowledge that not all people commit crimes because of gang violence or desire for power, but much rather because environmental influences, which makes them believe that committing crimes are okay, or also may simply be because of survival. Not everyone gets equal opportunities, and sometimes people may resort to violence to achieve what they may need to survive. And I'm saying them as if it wouldn't apply to me. Totally would apply to me. I think it would apply to everyone. Everyone would commit horrible crimes simply to survive, which is why I think it's so important to listen to different perspectives, such as this podcast. In conclusion, I believe it's very important to listen to podcasts such as Ear Hustle because it allows for people to have an open perspective of how prisoners live and how they are also humans who have just committed crimes because of necessity. Thank you very much.